Good afternoon on what is a very warm, bright and sunny day. It is Thursday the 15th of June. I've got a nice hot cup of tea and box to continue unboxing. Now I have already pulled out this oddity, an interesting little journaling game about exploring what happens in a hospital whilst you play as a set of scrubs. But the next thing is this: Escape from New York, a scenario, a cinematic adventure compatible with the Everyday Heroes system. It's published by Evil Genius Games, and Everyday Heroes is the role-playing game for 5th edition, basically, which can be described as the version of D20 Modern, originally published by Wizards of the Coast, but using the 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons rule set. So, in 1988, the crime rate in the United States rose by more than 400%. In New York City, the site of a massive knife gas attack by the Soviet Union is transformed into a maximum security prison, covering all the incarceration requirements of the United States. Sealed off from the world by a 50-foot containment wall, it is a society in and of itself. Once you go in, you never come out. As a final security measure, a nuclear bomb has been installed in the head of the Statue of Liberty. While its existence is a closely guarded secret, the revolutionary NLFA have obtained the president's nuclear army device and are threatening to detonate the bomb unless the demands are met. The year is 1993. Your mission is to recover the arming device and codes before all of New York is reduced to radioactive rubble. Escape from New York is a cinematic adventure for the Everyday Heroes role-playing game. You need the Everyday Heroes core rulebook to understand and play the contents of the book. Every cinematic adventure contains a wealth of lore about the world of the film, new hero building options, tools and guidance for game masters, and an incredible adventure. So, here's the thing. This is really kind of a bit of a surprise because it's a license which you never thought would actually be made into anything, because it's a really entertainingly dark little B-movie film. Shot by John Carpenter, in 1980, with Kurt Russell as Snake Plissken. Really good, fun little film. Donald Pleasance as the president. Don't watch Escape from LA because it's terrible. But this is the original. is really good, and it's also got Ernest Borgnine in it, the other thing about it is it presents a really sort of like playable kind of setting, but nothing's been done with it really until now. So we open up, and this is quite a chunky rulebook given that it's sort of essentially that supplement. It's 128 pages. Given that it's just a sort of like a fairly short film, but we open up. We have. Basic contents page. We've got a QR code. It says all great adventures need a great score, and this is for the Streamscape sound set for this adventure. Now, the other thing that's kind of forgotten is that actually the soundtrack to Escape from New York is actually really good. I've actually listened to it. I will occasionally play it whilst I'm writing because of a great sense of progression. We've got an introduction, and then we get into basically got forward, and then we've got an introduction, basically introducing the book. And here we are exploring the world of Escape from New York, the terminology and the timeline. And this is all information we've never really had in role playing. So with this, you have this information. You can take this away and start creating adventures as you will. We have a timeline all that goes up to 2013. Nature of the US government. There we've got the security guards, prison guards, assigned to man the walls of the 5 boroughs around Manhattan Island. Then we have discussion of anti-government revolutionary groups, as well. Then New York maximum security penitentiary. In its absolutely maximum penitentiary, because essentially escape involves, is upon pain of death. You will be killed. and then you have organisations within the penitentiary, because it's a self-regulating society. You go in, you survive, you find, and you try and get by. So we've got the various gangs. Top of the heap we have, let's have a look, the Duke and his royal court. I think played by Isaac Hayes, if I recall correctly. Been a while since I've seen the film. So all the different gangs. Then we've actually got a map of Manhattan Island, with the notable neighbourhoods and New York locations, and also the bridges are kind of are all mined heavily, and then we get into this. You've got all the setting. Then we've got hero options. So backgrounds, professions. So you can be a convict, a legend, a war veteran, and you've got different professions that you can pursue. Such as fixer, gang leader, nightshade druid, gang soldier, scavenger, revolutionary soldier. Classes: gutter rat and motorhead. Street warrior. And then feats, because the thing is, this is very much a 2022, 2023 approach to what is a 40-year-old film, and that's fine. You've got like a modern kind of take upon it, assessment of it within an adaptation. Equipment packs, new weapons. Vehicle modifications, so these include armor plating, body spikes, decorations, floodlights, hot-rodded, because you've got the vehicles. There's a bit of a vehicle chase in the setting as well, so you you've got a bit of a you can have car chases with souped up, heavily modified vehicles down the rubbish-strewn streets of New York. Basically, we've got a Snake Plissken type character there. New rules, so what's important here is your street cred, because that will help you get by. Potentially suffering the crazies disease, before we get into game master advice with the themes. Include authoritarianism, anarchy versus freedom, humanity versus inhumanity in New York City, science fiction, street gangs, and then adventure ideas. So several of those. The adventure, Liberty Lost. So you've really got basically this is like the first 50 pages or so are all about the setting. And then quickly set up the adventure, and then Act 1, welcome to New York City. You've got a nice shot of the Empire State Building. Which I didn't actually. I didn't think. Which have been a top, of course. Set up questions and answers for the type of questions that the player characters are going to ask. Why aren't you going in? Well, because that's what we've got you for. And then getting in and getting across the city. We've got a Herald Square station. An ambush site, and then the rotten apple bites back. Essentially, when the inhabitants begin taking notice of the new arrivals, going to come to pick them clean. Then we've got the Duke, the broadcast centre, and of course this takes place aboard the Empire State Building. And every adventure should include a night at the opera. Encounter in Lincoln City Plaza, Lincoln Center Plaza, and Central Park. So you can take count to 7, you start your engines. So we've got a race to car chase as well, car race. With again prize on show, which is, you know, a chopped 1932 Ford Coupe. Act 3, all in a day's work. Takes place in Cathedral St John the Divine, and of course, because it's this you have, this is an Escape from New York, a cinematic adventure. You have a section called Escaping from New York, because, you know, that's the point. Get in, get out, just like the film. And then we've got the cast. So, you know, film antagonists. So we've got Bob Huck, USP, PF Commissioner, the Duke from the movie, and his ride in 1977 Cadillac Fleetwood. Then the adventure antagonists, including we have a character called Gus the Polar Bear, and John Harker, US President. Various NPCs, like Fat Cat Ganger. So we've got key characters from the series. So we've actually got Snake Plissken himself, the cabbie, played by, you know, so Snake Plissken, played by Kurt Russell, the cabbie Ernest Borgnine, Click with his cab, Brain and Maggie. Can't remember who Brain was played by, but Maggie, Adrian Barbeau. Pre-generated heroes for the setting, for the scenario. So it's really nice and complete. You know, they've all got code names, so you don't have to give any details, but they include, we've got scoundrels, street warriors, manipulators, a mastermind, and reasons for getting involved. And of course, come down to the license. And that's it. So yeah, that's Escape from New York, a cinematic adventure. Really pleased to be able to get hold of this, because I'm always interested, sort of like, you know, going back to interesting sort of sources for adventure, and I think this setting is ripe for adventure. So hoping this is going to be good. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, do please click on the like button down below. And if you got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a box containing a book or game, which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing in the Nook. I will be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.